I was a lowlife, you know what I mean? I was a dirge to society. There's hope, man. If I can do it, if I can turn my life around, you can too.
When you look down at your gang tattoos, how do you feel now?
I put a lot of things that I thought meant something to me on me, but it's not me anymore, and I don't want it there. And that's how my gang patch is. I don't want to look in the mirror every time I take my shirt off and have that darkness right there.
There are a lot of ways to make change. You can change your outlook, you can change the way that you do things. But what if in order to move forward, you have to change something that's a little bit more permanent, like a tattoo? What if you have a tattoo that aligns with a hate group or a gang and it's something that you no longer align with? That's why we're here in Arkansas. There's an artist named Nick Pierce who's trying to help people in this exact predicament.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you've been working on this year?
Yeah, so I decided to do sort of a little project of racist and gang-related cover-ups. I typically do a giveaway every year, whether it be a cover-up or just a free tattoo. But this year I wanted to take it a step further, helping people transition from maybe a past that they had or a stigma they have on their tattoo. I've covered up rebel flags, iron crosses, gang initials. This one was an iron cross, and we covered it with an old tree. This one was representative of the gang that he was in, and we covered it with an owl. And this one's BED, so Black Disciples, and we covered it with a tree that he wanted.
Nick posted his offer on Instagram and got nearly 100 responses. One of them was from a man named James.
I've known James for a little while, and I know a little bit about his past, how he's been in prison before, but he's sort of like transitioned to where he's changed his life completely around.
I just didn't want to have a big black blob on me. I wanted something beautiful on me. He's like, yeah, man, I'd love to cover that up for you.
James Brassfield spent 7 years in prison in Oklahoma. There, he was a prominent member of a prison gang known as the Irish Mob.
What's up, man?
Now he volunteers at a minimum security facility, counseling men who are months away from being released.
I'm in here growing with y'all, you know? Nobody's better than the next man. Just because I'm free and go home and lay in my own bed tonight don't mean I'm better than you. I've been where you're at. I've been in worse places than where you're at right now, you know?
See, a lot of us look at you like you're kind of a motivation. I mean, you've been to the penitentiary, you've been through a lot of rough things in your life, been a drug addict, and here you are, you've got a family, you've got a business.
It's not where you come from, it's where you're going. The more you do right, the better you can do for the world. You got to stand up and be a leader in whatever you do. You know, I'm standing up and being a leader by coming here and trying to, you know, doing ministry and trying to help the guys that are here and give them hope and give them light and see that you can change. There's hope, man. All right, man. All right. Joe, you ready to pray us out of here?
Yes, sir. Our gracious Heavenly Father, how can we thank you enough for the gift of your Son, Jesus Christ?
How does it make you feel being here?
I was nervous at first. When I first came back in, it was really weird. But I always had the notion in the back of my head, I get to go home after this. I get to go home after this. So it was different, you know. But this facility isn't like the facility I was at, so it's better. You know, where I was at was maximum security, so it was 24-hour lockdown. You got handcuffed to go to the shower, handcuffed to brought back, a handcuff you and took you outside for 30 minutes in a dog cage.
James started tattooing when he was in prison. After he was released, he moved to Arkansas, where he runs his own shop.
This right here is a prison machine I built when I first got out of prison. I wanted to show my girl. I don't know how well she believed I was a tattoo artist, so I wanted to show her. I don't know where I got the rotating motor from. I want to say it was an old tape player, toothbrush, pen, and then a spring out of a spring-loaded pen.
So is that how you tattoo?
Yeah, that's exactly how I tattooed most of this stuff on me. I grew up in kind of an abusive situation, a lot of different abusive situations, and art from the gate was my outlet. I didn't have anybody sending me money while I was in prison, so I had to kind of live off the land in prison, hustle my own money for ramen noodles. And finally these guys were like, man, can you tattoo? I said, you know, I've done a few. And they're like, man, we're gonna build you a tattoo gun. We want you to tattoo. Everybody in that facility, there was 350 of us, everybody had a tattoo by me on them. This is my felony record. I got 10 felonies. I took 37 different cars of cops on a chase through 3 counties in Oklahoma. and I ended up hitting a brick wall head on, not like this, but like that, on the driver's side, doing 80. And they pulled me out of the truck and whooped my butt and put me in prison for 7 years. This is my dad in the 80s with his fro.
Oh, wow.
He kept a fro. That's pretty much all he ever had was a fro. That was one of the trucks, mini trucks he lived in out in front of my grandmother's. There's my mom and me. That's like the only picture I have of me as a child with me and my mom in it. Oh, wow. I was a cute baby. My dad was an active member in the biker gang in Tulsa, and he cooked methamphetamines for him and sold drugs for him and retaliated, was an enforcer for him. So I seen a lot of violence, and I knew what the drug game was, the dope game was. By the time I was 3 or 4, it was rough. It was rough, and he kept going to prison, and then when I was 13, I started selling drugs. I started selling cocaine because it was really easy in the neighborhood I lived in.
What was, the first few days in prison like?
Torture. I was gripping onto the reality of I just lost my life. It completely desensitizes you going into a lockup situation. Like, you're free here. You're not free there.
When you were part of the Irish mob, you got some tattoos.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Well, I got each one of these shamrocks is somebody I whooped. That's what this is. And then when I'd done so much dirt for the gang, they was like, all right, you're official now. And then I got, my whole chest is done. When I was in maximum security, when I got permission to do that, I tattooed my own gang patch on my chest.
Oh, wow, so you did that yourself?
Yeah.
And that's the one that you want to get covered
Yeah,
up?
this whole area is what I want covered up.
And at the time, were you excited to have something like that?
Yeah, that was like prestige, man. I earned that. I hurt people for that. I sold drugs for that. I had females doing stuff on the street for me for that, I was proud of it. I was very boastful of myself at that point.
And when you think about, finally being able to cover up what you have, is it for you kind of like one of the last steps?
It's definitely another chapter closed in that part of my life.
So that's what it's
I'm gonna cry. It almost made me cry. Yeah, it's a pretty big step. For almost 4 years, I've been waiting to get this over with, get it put in the past.
After talking to James yesterday and seeing all of his tattoos, it's clear that his body is like a canvas for all of the experiences and everything that he's been through. James, how are you feeling?
I'm good.
Excited?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
Yeah. What's up, man?
What's up, man? So here's the idea.
Oh, dude.
So, light coming out of darkness,
Yeah.
right? Hands coming out of the skull.
That's gonna be so dope, dude.
Now we'll clean you up, put this stencil on there. You ready, man? We'll look at it in the mirror.
Oh my God. That's super awesome.
How are you feeling?
Kind of like, it's official, I'm no longer a gang member. Like, for real, that's what it feels like. A good portion of my life that I wasted is gone now. Beautiful art, man. Beautiful art.
I'm glad to do it.
And you're gonna do this every week for...
Every week, as long as people are coming in.